In this lesson, you will learn how to display data using frequency distributions, histograms, and stem and leaf plots, as well as how to compute measures of central tendency. Now, when you collect data, there are different ways that we can report the data. And there are three ways in which we will discuss in this lesson. The first way is what we call a frequency distribution. What it is, for example, let's say you're to collect data of the height of different people. And you find that there are 5 people that have a height of 60 to 62 inches, 12 people that fall within 63 to 65, 15 people that fall within 66 to 68 inches, and etc. So here's the table that we've collected. And so this table is what we call a frequency distribution, which means we are showing how frequently something is happening, or how frequently something is occurring within a certain range. Now, with the same set of data, we could also report this by using what we call a histogram. A histogram is another fancy word for a bar graph. And we see here, the bottom of this bar graph, we have on the x-axis the different ranges of heights. And then the y-axis is the number of people. So we see here that there are 5 people that fall within 60 to 62 inches, 12 people that fall within 63 to 65 inches, and the graph goes on. So we can analyze data in either of these two ways. And with the bar graph, make sure you know how to answer different questions concerning the bar graph. For example, I might say, how many people have a height of 69 inches or taller? Well, based off of the bar graph, the histogram, what we can do is we can see that 69 to 71 inches would be this range right here. So we have 20 people that fall within 69 to 71 inches. We have 17 people that are within 72 to 74, and then 9 people that fall within 75 to 77 inches. So if we add those 3 up, we would have 37 plus 9, or 46 people that have a height of 69 inches or greater. And now many times, by the way, these numbers above these different bars will not be given to you. So you have to look at the y-axis on the left and see how high up does it go. So if you go on the y-axis for the first one, we see that it's here at 5, and so that's where the 5 came from. The second one we see is over here at 12. It goes this high, so there are 12 people that fall within that range. So make sure you know how to read the graph and be able to answer questions concerning the graph. A third way that we can show the data is with what we call a stem and leaf plot. So for example, let's say this was our set of numbers. So this is not height this time. This can be any other set of numbers that we are collecting. And we are told to write this using the stem and leaf plot. Now, it's not necessary, but you would find it helpful to arrange this in ascending order, where the smallest number comes first and then the biggest number comes at the end. So if you rearrange this, you would have this set of numbers. So then with these numbers, I create a little chart. And the chart looks like this. Let me explain to you what we have. On the left side, we have what is called your stem. And on the right side, we have what is called your leaf. And your stem is going to be the tens place. So the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6. There's 3, 4, 5, and 6 that will be your stem. And then the leaf will be the other number. So we see with a 3, we have a 38 and a 39. So the leaf is going to list out all of the ones places that have that corresponding tens place. So the 3, we see there's an 8 and a 9 that are paired up with a 3. So we write this with an 8 and a 9, meaning we have 38 and 39. And then with the 4, we have 42 and 48. So with the 4 down here in the chart, we write a 2 and an 8, representing the 42 and the 48. With the 5, we have 50 and 55. So the ones places would be the 0 and the 5, and that goes with the 5 for the stem. And then here with the 6s, we see we have 61, 61, 61, 2, 5, and 6. Now if you have repeat numbers, you do need to include the repeat numbers. So we see the 1 repeated 3 times, so we write 1 3 times, and then the 2, 5, and 6. And what this means is that we have 61, 61, 61, and then 62, 5, and 66. So that is a third way that we can represent data that we collect. So now once we collect the data, there are different things that we can do with the data. And there's different numbers or values that we are interested in. Now once you analyze the data and get a number, we call that statistics. Statistics by definition are numbers that are used to describe the set of data that we collect. So in this lesson, we're going to now get into different types of statistics that you can draw based off the data. The first one, if you have a list of numbers, we can find what is called the mean. The mean is another word for average, or it can also be called the arithmetic mean. Now to find the average, or the mean, what I do is I add up each of these numbers, so 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7, and then I divide by the total number of numbers that we are adding. So we're adding up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So we divide by 7. So add everything up and then divide by the number of numbers that we are adding together. So when you do that, you're going to get 30 over 7, which would give you 4.29. So 4.29 would be the mean. Another type of statistics that we can draw is called the mode. And the mode is the most frequent number. So mode is most frequent. Notice it sounds kind of similar, mode and most. So if you're trying to remember, which one is which, that could be a good mnemonic to help you. So the mode is most frequent, and here we see 3s are the most frequent. So your mode in this case would be a 3. Now what if you had two numbers that are used the same amount? So here we have a 3 and a 4, both used twice, while the mode would be both a 3 and a 4. So we've learned mean, we've learned the mode, and the next one is called the median. The median, if you know your English words, simply means the middle. So it is the middle number when arranged in ascending order. Meaning once you have these numbers listed in order, so 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, it goes from smallest to biggest. It's the middle number. So if I work my way to the center, so I eliminate the first and the last number, and then eliminate the next number, and then the next number, we find that 4 would be in the center. So 4 would be your median. It is literally in the middle of this list of numbers. Now the question is, what happens if you have an even number of numbers? So here, trying to find the median, we work our way to the center, eliminate the first and the last, and then the second and second to last, third and third to last, and notice we now have two numbers in the middle. There's not just one number in the middle anymore. So when it's like this, you have two numbers in the middle. To find the median, I simply take the average of these two numbers in the middle. So to average them, I add and divide by 2. So I have 7 over 2, or 3.5, as the median. So we've now learned how to find the mean, the median, and the mode. And those three statistics are what we call measures of central tendency, which means that these are values that tend to be in the center. So central tendency are values that tend to be in the center. The mean is one way we find the center, so it's finding the average. And the median, we're literally finding the center of a list of numbers. And the mode, I'm not quite sure how that shows the center, to be honest, but that's also thrown in there as a measure of central tendency.